Right now on Morning News Now, belly up. A plane carrying 80 passengers lands outside Toronto.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Miraculously, everyone survived. We'll have the latest on the investigation into what went wrong. Plus, bundle up. Another major snowstorm is slamming the plains as bone-chilling temperatures are set to grip the middle of the country. All this as snow blankets part of the South, still recovering from the weekend's deadly flooding. We'll have a look at where the storms are headed next. Also this morning, Supreme Court showdown. The Justice Department asks the nation's highest court to weigh in on a battle between President Trump and the government watchdog who protects whistleblowers who was fired. We'll break down the case and the other court challenges threatening to slow down Trump's agenda. And finally, women mean business. We'll sit down with the female founder who's redefining health standards with the first and only USDA certified organic baby formula. And it's made right here in the U.S. That is later this hour.
Looking forward to that conversation. Good morning. Good to have you with us as we return from the holiday weekend. I'm Joe Fryer.
Yeah, and it's good to have you back, Joe. I'm Savannah Sellers. We're going to begin this Tuesday morning with that plane crash in Toronto where a passenger jet flipped over while landing, leaving behind an unbelievable scene.
At least 18 people were injured at Toronto Pearson International Airport. Delta Airlines Flight 4819 was arriving from Minneapolis yesterday afternoon when the plane somehow overturned during its landing. No one was critically injured. In all, 80 people were on board the plane, 76 of them passengers plus 4 crew members. Toronto fire officials described the crash scene as first responders arrived.
Upon arrival, my team conducted fire suppression. Self-evacuation was already taking place. At this time, we believe all our emergency response went as planned. We will, however, be conducting a review.
At the time of the crash, winds were blowing at 20 to 30 miles per hour with reported gusts up to 40 miles per hour. But it's not clear yet what caused the crash. NBC News senior correspondent Tom Costello has our details.
On the runway in Toronto, a terrifying end for Delta Flight 4819.
Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Lying upside down on the runway, an Endeavour Air regional jet had just arrived from Minneapolis in gusty winds when something went terribly wrong.
This airplane just crashed at 23.
As thick black smoke poured from the plane, firefighters smothered the scene in foam. The right wing ripped off, the fuselage bearing what appeared to be skid or soot marks.
Everything, drop it!
All 80 people on board managed to escape through the emergency exits.
I was walking to this fence and I could see a CRJ that is possibly crashed on the airport. The airplane is flipped.
18 people injured and transported to area hospitals, including 2 airlifted to trauma centers. 1 child rushed to Children's Hospital in Toronto.
I've seen a few people on stretchers that we have transported. I have seen one person with a sling on their arm, and I've seen others that are just potentially exposure type injuries because it is very cold here.
The plane, a Bombardier CRJ 900 regional jet made in Canada, is a workhorse for short-haul flights worldwide. At the time of the crash, it was 18 degrees with 20 to 30 mile-per-hour winds and strong crosswinds. The question for investigators, how and why did the plane lose at least one, maybe both wings on landing, then flip over, causing jet fuel to spill onto the runway?
I think it's possible the wing may have touched the runway due to a gust, and if that's the case, then the rest of this makes sense. But the recorders are going to show that.
In a statement, Delta says our primary focus is taking care of those impacted. The flight was carrying a total of 80 people, 76 passengers, and 4 crew. The investigation now will be led by the Canadian Transportation Safety Board, with both the U.S. FAA and NTSB assisting.
And our thanks to Tom Costello for that report.
Well, for more on this, let's bring in NBC News aviation analyst John Cox, who you just saw there in our Tom Costello's report. John, thanks for joining us. So let's talk a little about the weather. I want to play more that we heard there because we do know it was particularly windy during the time of the crash. Let's hear a little bit more about those conditions. We'll talk about it on the other side.
This is an active investigation. It's very early on. It's really important that we do not speculate. What we can say is the runway was dry and there was no crosswind conditions.
So kind of eliminating crosswinds as a factor there in this incident. But when you look at the video, the information assembled so far, what are your first impressions about how this may have happened?
Well, I think it's very early, so we got a lot more questions than answers right now. The thing that, and I'll have to take exception to the fire chief there was a pretty good crosswind. I pulled the weather up right after the accident, and there was about 25 gusts to 35, and it was not right down the runway. There was a crosswind component, and that's something that the pilots would have had to have dealt with, but it's something professional pilots deal with a lot. So exactly what happened here, this airplane, there are reports from people that were passengers that it hit very firmly at touchdown and then rolled over. They're going to look at why that wing separated. We know that it did, and exactly what caused that wing to separate is going to be a central question for the investigators.
These images that we are seeing from moments after the crash really are astounding. Many people were somehow able to just walk off the plane while it was upside down. I was just on a long flight. I sat in the exit row, so your mind briefly thinks about, okay, what am I going to do in the small chance something bad happens? I can't even imagine having to try and do it with the plane upside down. I mean, when a crash like this happens, what's the first thing the pilots, the flight attendants are doing to get folks out of that plane?
Well, understand that the training that all flight crew members go through is very intense, and it is reinforced every year. So opening the doors is something that you are very, very accustomed to doing and know how to do, even under high stress conditions. First and foremost, get the doors open and get people started out. This evacuation went very well. People got out of the jet, and then they were helping other folks get out. There was very little of people taking their carry-on bags with them. And the fact that everybody had their seatbelt fastened at landing, those are the things that let everybody survive this accident. They got the doors open. The flight attendants did a great job in getting everybody out. People got out of the airplane. They assisted others. The evacuation went well.
John, let's talk about how we do figure out what happened here. I mean, what clues investigators will be looking for, how crucial that flight data recorder will be in piecing together what happened. How will we get answers?
The two recorders are going to be key, and they should get those today. That fuselage is intact, so they know exactly where those recorders are. Those will be removed today, and the Transportation Safety Board in Canada will download the data off of them, and that will tell the story. We'll know exactly what the bank angle was, what the speed, vertical speed was at touchdown. We'll know everything about the approach, whether the wind was affecting the airplane and how much. All of those questions will be answered. So I would say by the weekend, there will be people in Ottawa who know what happened, and hopefully they'll let us know in short order.
John Cox, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks.
Now, this morning, tens of millions of Americans are waking up to cold alerts from Canada and the Canadian border all the way down to central Texas. A brutal winter storm system is sweeping across the U.S. We're seeing sub-zero wind chills in Montana and the Dakotas, and parts of the Central Plains are bracing for up to a foot of snow.
One of the biggest concerns is in Kentucky, where thousands of people still don't have power or safe drinking water as the state recovers from deadly flooding over the weekend. Well, now officials worried frigid temperatures could complicate rescue efforts.
NBC News correspondent Kathy Park is live in Lexington, Kentucky. Kathy, good morning. Parts of Kentucky could see up to 6 inches of snow from this storm system. Talk about what the weather's like and what they're expecting in these coming hours.
Hey, Joe, good morning to you. So the good news is a lot of the floodwaters have receded, but unfortunately, the bad news, as you can probably see in this live shot, we have some flurries coming down. We are sitting in the 20s, and it is cold, and it will stay this way pretty much all day. It will get even colder later on this evening. But as you mentioned, the big concern moving ahead, especially here in Kentucky, is that there are places in eastern Kentucky, especially, where they're still recovering from the flood damage, and we could be looking at anywhere between 2 to 6 inches of snow. So yesterday we saw a lot of folks just kind of taking advantage of the milder conditions and just kind of making those repairs and getting the cleanup underway before this next system moves in.
And Kathy, we know the search and rescue missions are still ongoing in Kentucky, and in fact, more than 200 airlifts were made yesterday. Walk us through what we saw here with these rescues and the biggest concern if those need to continue as we see the snow and these freezing temperatures.
Yeah, the governor yesterday during his latest briefing, he mentioned that it is a priority to get people to safety because a lot of folks are still impacted in some way due to these floodwaters. But the other thing is it's a race to get these people to safety, to shelter, because the temperatures are going to be dangerously cold. Yesterday, we were about 2 hours outside of Lexington in Hazard, Kentucky. At one point, that community was completely underwater, specifically the downtown area. I had a chance to speak with the mayor there, and he said that it really was, time was of the essence yesterday to make repairs with the infrastructure because a lot of the floodwaters damaged the water lines. And of course, with this freeze coming in, he wanted to make those repairs before we have to deal with that.
You know, Kathy, Kentucky, used to ice, not really used to snow, so they don't have the snow plows and much of the equipment we have in the northern states here. Talk about the resources available to help residents, to help crews there as they prepare for this deadly 1-2 punch of winter weather.
Yeah, Joe, it's interesting you brought up that point because we saw yesterday those plows actually pushing several inches of mud that collected due to the floodwaters. But, you know, talking to folks yesterday, a lot of the things that I kept hearing was that these are mountain folks and they're proud of it and they show up for their community. So it was actually very busy, especially in Hazard, Kentucky, where we kind of spent most of the day. A lot of just volunteers, neighbors, they're all pitching in and lending a helping hand because they say this is what we do for folks who need help. And that's kind of the resources that are kind of spurring up organically, pretty much. Churches, nonprofits are opening up their doors to help those in need. But at the state level, we know there are shelters available. There is a relief fund that has also been created as well to help those impacted by the floods. And then, of course, we have federal aid moving in as well. Joe?
Bluegrass kindness at work there. Kathy Park, thank you so much.
Let's dig in on what's to come in the latest winter storm here with meteorologist Angie Lastman.
She's got everything you need to know about this system that's taking shape really just over a big chunk of the country right now. Angie,
and it's going to be, good morning, guys. It's going to be something that we deal with for days across much of the country. You can see already the alerts that are up. More than 50 million people are included in these, and they extend essentially from the East Coast all the way into the Central Plains, parts of the Rockies included in that as well. But it's the Central Plains that are really going to see things ramp up here as the day goes on. Notice some of that snow that we've been dealing with this morning, winding down in Kansas City, but Springfield, St. Louis, and even stretching out towards Louisville, dealing with the snow this morning. And that, again, is going to expand here as the day goes on. We've got the heavy snow, the ice, and the rain developing over the plains. And notice some of these gusty kind of storms that will be possible across parts of the Gulf Coast here through the afternoon hours today. This is going to race across this region. We'll see some wet weather for parts of the southeast tomorrow. Notice the snow and ice we'll also see for places like Virginia and North Carolina. That system quickly moves offshore, but behind it, notice the snow that sticks with us. We've still got snow in the forecast as we get into Thursday across the mid-Atlantic, across parts of the Appalachians, as well as the Great Lakes. So we're not done with it just yet. We're going to start to get closer to the end of the work week and see things winding down slightly. But between now and then, some pretty substantial snow could fall, specifically places like Springfield, up to a foot of snow. We've got Norfolk close to a foot as well. Atlantic City, 1 to 3 inches. So overall, some wintry weather on the way. Additionally, I mentioned the ice accumulation. Specifically, notice that we could see up to 1/4 of an inch across parts of the Carolinas. This, as always, is going to create difficult travel. And not to mention, we have the chance for some isolated flash flooding across parts of the Gulf Coast. This is where we'll see those highest amounts of rainfall, up to 2 inches in some spots. Places like New Orleans, the Panhandle of Florida could get an inch or so. And again, this is going to be problematic for getting around travel, etc. The other thing about this system is we've got really cold air spilling in behind it. 81 million people under these cold cold weather alerts, and for good reason. Check out these wind chill values right now, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
Minus 40, minus 50 below for parts of those northern plains. And notice Minneapolis, minus 30 degrees. It takes, not a whole lot of time for you to get frostbite in these kinds of conditions. Ooh. Exposed skin in 15 minutes could see frostbite develop in places like Minneapolis this morning. So really going to want to be careful, not just today, but through the next couple of days. Our highs this afternoon, single digits for Omaha, 11 for Chicago, Minneapolis 2. Even the teens in Texas.
Hearing from a lot of families, school canceled today. They're doing it from home.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I screenshotted when it said feels like 2 or something this morning. But it's not like feels like
different. Huh?
Yeah, oh my gosh. All right, thanks, Angie.
Yeah.
All right, this morning there are new developments in the Trump administration's push to reshape the federal government. Another department is now facing scrutiny from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE.
NBC News has learned that the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Michelle King, stepped down over the weekend after she refused a request from DOGE to access sensitive data of millions of Americans at the agency. That is according to 2 sources familiar with the situation. Well, the White House later confirmed that King was no longer head of the agency.
NBC News White House correspondent Aaron Gilchrist joins us now. Aaron, let's start there. What are we hearing from our sources, also from the White House, just about this resignation? And just tied to that, what's the information that DOGE is looking for here?
Well, Joe and Savannah, good morning. The Social Security Administration is in charge of managing payments for more than 70 million Americans. We know that President Trump has promised not to cut benefits from that particular agency as they're doing this work across the federal government to make cuts. One of the sources familiar with King's resignation in particular said that some of the information involved here in this dispute included bank information, Social Security numbers, birth dates, and in some cases medical records as well. King retired instead of giving up that information. She refused to let Musk's team access those sensitive government documents. Again, that's according to 2 sources, and the White House has confirmed that she is no longer the person in charge of that agency. We know that the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, gave an interview last night where she talked about this, and she said that the president has directed DOGE teams to identify fraud at the Social Security Administration. There was an anecdote from Elon Musk last week when he spoke in the Oval Office where he said that there was at least a case where someone was collecting Social Security benefits who was 150 years old. So that sort of offers an example of what they describe as waste in that agency. Leavitt did say that his team has not dug into the books just yet, Joe and Savannah, but they do expect that they will find some waste and potentially fraud at the Social Security Administration.
Aaron, all this comes as mass layoffs across the government are continuing. We know nearly 300 employees at the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, have been fired. We're also learning that the Department for Homeland Security is planning to fire hundreds of senior leaders this week. What can you tell us about all this?
Yeah, I spoke with the FAA union yesterday, and I understand that there were just under 300 of their members who received these termination letters over the weekend, and they were talking about people who work as maintenance mechanics, environmental protection specialists, aviation safety specialists. The union president there expressing concern that this is going to mean an overloaded workforce is going to be even more overloaded as some of these positions have been cut. And this is an agency where people have already been stretched thin. At the Department of Homeland Security, our understanding is that the administration is about to cut some of these top positions, these people who've been in career positions for a long time at the agency, high-level folks. They're getting ready to get rid of them at some point this week because they don't really align with the administration's goals for the Department of Homeland Security and the many agencies that are a part of that particular department. This source said that the Trump administration has a centralized plan and a list of names that it intends to work with to make these cuts across that agency. And these are not folks, we understand from one source, who have job performance issues or who are being cut as a result of an effort to downsize that agency. This is people who simply are not aligned with what President Trump wants that agency to be doing, Joe and Savannah.
And Aaron, on this President's Day, we saw a lot of pushback and protests to President Trump, right?
You're right. There were protests across the country to what DOGE and its team members are doing across the federal government. We saw this happening in many cities. You see an example here in Atlanta. I want you to hear what some of these folks are concerned about. One of the people we talked to, I believe, was in Washington, D.C. Listen.
I'm worried about the power that Elon Musk has been given without any kind of election and kind of running over everybody. That's a big concern. I'm worried about, I have a lot of family and friends that are federal employees or depending on grant money to do research, so it's impacting me personally.
So, Joe and Savannah, conversely, I think it's worth pointing out that there are people who support what President Trump is doing and what Elon Musk is doing to downsize the government, to identify, as the president has said many times, waste, fraud, and abuse. And they think that these cuts have been long needed. Guys?
All right, Aaron, thank you so much.
Well, the Trump administration has asked the Supreme Court to review the firing of a government watchdog. A ruling in the case could signal how the high court views President Trump's efforts, as we've been discussing, to remake federal bureaucracy. Hampton Dellinger, leader of the Office of Special Counsel, a whistleblower protection agency, and a Biden appointee, sued the Trump administration after he was fired via email earlier this month.
A federal judge ordered that he be reinstated during these ongoing legal proceedings. But President Trump is expected to ask the Supreme Court to overturn this lower court ruling and keep Dellinger off the job.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Angela Senadella. Angela, good morning. Thanks as always for being here with us. So this might be a little confusing for people. So walk us through what's at the heart of the Trump administration here, but also just kind of what the law says about how someone in a position like this can be fired or cannot be fired.
Okay, so the irony here is that the reason there was this lawsuit is because the Trump administration didn't give a reason for this firing. So this particular independent position requires by statute a for-cause removal for only 3 reasons: malfeasance, neglect, or inefficiency. And in the email that fired Hampton Dellinger, there was none of these reasons. So he is suing, saying that this independent position requires for-cause removal. Now, the Trump administration here thinks that they have some sort of protection because in 2020, the Supreme Court passed this, or gave this ruling, this precedent that said that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau had, that it's similar for-cause removal restrictions, that part was unconstitutional. So kind of based on that, that's how Trump's team is proceeding here.
So we know we're seeing a lot of efforts to try and shrink the government right now, and we're seeing a lot of lawsuits to try and battle a lot of these firings. Whatever the Supreme Court decides to do here or not do, could that give us some indication, this specific case, about what could happen with more of these legal battles down the road?
Yeah, absolutely, because something that was done here that was pretty extraordinary is this temporary restraining order. So in the past, when there is any sort of like an employer or employee dispute, it is rare for a court to put someone back in that position. But that is what the courts have done here. So if the Supreme Court does rule that this sort of temporary restraining order is indeed constitutional, well, look, this could then put lots of people back into positions that Trump has fired.
Angela, to switch gears, we're also following this story, Trump's executive order banning transgender people from the military. There's some movement on this day. There's a hearing today. Walk us through where we're at.
Yeah, so look, this happened in the past administration, and at that point, preliminary injunctions were issued to stop this ban, to pause them temporarily, right? And so that is where we are. This hearing will also determine whether or not there's enough evidence to place a preliminary injunction on this ban. Now, what the courts use to decide this is whether or not this claim is largely unconstitutional and will also create injury to people. So again, in the past, when these injunctions for this exact similar type of ban that Trump issued in the first term were given, the reasons were first that it was likely more discriminatory and not really based on any military strategy, and also that there was real injury. So we kind of expect a similar course of action to take place here today.
All right, Angela Senadella, thank you.
Here in New York City, Eric Adams' future as mayor appears to be growing more uncertain. 4 of Adams' deputy mayors have now resigned. This all comes amid the Justice Department's move to dismiss corruption charges against Adams after he agreed to cooperate with the Trump administration on immigration enforcement. It's all leading to allegations of a quid pro quo between the Democratic mayor and the Republican administration. Now, there is a process written into the city's charter where the governor of New York State can remove the mayor, but it has never been used before. On Monday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul released a statement expressing concern at the situation in City Hall. She said, in part, quote, "Overturning the will of the voters is a serious step that should not be taken lightly. That said, the alleged conduct at City Hall that has been reported over the past 2 weeks is troubling and cannot be ignored." She added, quote, "I have asked key leaders to meet me at my Manhattan office for a conversation about the path forward. That meeting scheduled to take place today.
We'll certainly bring you updates on that. Well, there's much more to come here on Morning News Now later this hour.
A health update on Pope Francis. The Vatican says he's not ready to leave the hospital just yet. We're going to have the latest on the pontiff's health battle as he cancels public appearances.
Welcome back. U.S. and Russian officials are meeting in Saudi Arabia this morning to discuss ending the war in Ukraine, which will soon mark its third anniversary. But Ukrainian officials are not part of the discussions. And President Zelensky has warned that Ukraine will not recognize any deal made without his country's participation. NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel has more.
President Trump dispatched his top foreign policy team to Saudi Arabia to begin the most intense negotiations yet to end the war in Ukraine. The talks, which could redraw the map of Ukraine and have major implications for the security of Europe and NATO, begin with the Russian side. Ukraine is not invited. Ukrainian officials tell NBC News that's a troubling sign. There's an old expression in peace talks: if you're not at the table, you're on it. Russian troops currently occupy about 20% of Ukraine's territory in the east and south. Ukrainian officials fear President Trump could carve off those areas and cede them to President Vladimir Putin. President Zelensky told NBC News' Kristen Welker Ukraine will not accept a deal it is not part of.
Do you feel like you have a seat at the table right now?
I not only count on it, I'm sure that we have to be there, otherwise it's not acceptable.
European nations are also shut out of the talks, so they convened a last-minute emergency summit among themselves. In Ukraine's frontline city of Kherson, volunteers held a belated Valentine's Day party in a shelter for children here, who after 3 years are still hiding underground, not going to school, and hardly ever playing and socializing. Yulia Ischuk is an organizer and says, of course, Ukrainians want peace, but they also want their leaders to have an input in the negotiations.
This initiative by President Trump, do you support it or are you nervous about it?
I'm nervous about it. It's confusing, it's going quickly, and you don't see where it's going.
President Trump says that Ukraine will not be excluded from these negotiations, and an administration envoy is expected here in Ukraine later this week. But talks with Russia do seem to be the priority, and President Trump says he plans to meet with Vladimir Putin soon.
All right, Richard, thank you.
Staying overseas now, the Vatican says Pope Francis will extend his current stay at a Rome hospital because of what they're calling a complex clinical condition.
Yeah, the 88-year-old pontiff was first admitted to the hospital last week after being diagnosed with bronchitis earlier this month. Well, the Vatican is now saying his condition is stable as he continues therapy for a polymicrobial infection. That statement goes on to say Pope Francis is touched by the numerous messages of affection and closeness that he continues to receive in these hours.
NBC News International correspondent Claudio Lavonda joins us now with the latest on this. Claudio, good morning. Just what else is the Vatican saying about the Pope's condition?
Joe Savannah, good morning. Well, the Vatican spokesperson Matteo Bruni spoke to journalists about an hour ago, and there was some good news. I mean, essentially, he said that the Pope spent a restful night in hospital, that he read the newspapers this morning, and especially that he had breakfast, which is a very good indication that he's not attached to a respirator and that he can tolerate food by himself. Well, now there is still, of course, concern about this condition. Yesterday it was announced, as you mentioned, that he has this microbial infection, which means that he has 2 or more germs, and this makes treatment and recovery more difficult, especially when it comes to an 88-year-old man with a history of respiratory infections and, of course, a weaker immune system like the Pope has. Guys?
Claudio, just today the Vatican announced that this weekend's Jubilee audience will be canceled due to his current condition. When a pope is absent from duties like this, what's the ripple effect? I mean, how much does it impact the Catholic Church, the Vatican more broadly?
Well, Savannah, this is a particularly busy year for the Vatican and the Catholic Church in general, because this is Jubilee year, which comes only every 25 years. So this means that the Pope had a very busy schedule. Almost every day there's an audience, there's a meeting, there's a mass. They already said they canceled the general audience on Wednesday, tomorrow. They canceled an audience on Saturday, and that the mass this Sunday will be presided over by an archbishop, which is an indication that the Pope is expected to spend a lot longer than than the 5 days that there was the previous estimate that was estimated when he was admitted on Friday. And we don't know when, of course, he's going to go out. But for now, the audiences are canceled and masses are being presided by someone else, Savannah.
You know, Claudio, this is just the latest health concern for the Pope. He's been in and out of the hospital over the years. He has recovered before. What are the biggest questions now over his abilities to perform in his role moving forward? You mentioned the Jubilee, Lent, Easter. They're all coming up quickly, too.
Well, Joe, the Pope has a long history of health issues. Apart from his mobility problems that, of course, don't prevent him from performing his duties as pontiff, in the past he had many bouts of bronchitis that led him to allow his aides to read speeches for him. He has already been in hospital in 2023 because of bronchitis, and he even had to cancel a trip to Dubai that year. But so far and so long, he has not shown that he could not perform his duties as Pope, and this is also the case this time. But he also said in an interview that if he ever sees that his health condition prevents him from performing his duties, he's not against resigning, just as Pope Benedict, his predecessor, did 12 years ago. Back to you guys.
All right. Claudio, thank you so much. Coming up, the impact of new changes to passports.
We'll have a closer look at the effect on transgender Americans after President Trump said the government will only recognize two genders. Stay with us.
We're back now with a deeper look at the impact of one of President Trump's earliest executive orders, the one that's having a broad impact on the transgender community. Just hours into his new administration, President Trump issued an order declaring the U.S. government will recognize only two sexes, male and female. As a result, the State Department confirmed to NBC News it is no longer issuing U.S. passports with X gender markers, which are preferred by many non-binary people. The State Department also not processing applications for those trying to change the gender on their passport or get new ones that reflect their gender, not the sex assigned at birth. For more, let's bring in Ashton Colby, a transgender advocate, someone we've spoken with often on this show before. Ashton, good to see you. So, this order went into effect immediately for all applications that were currently in progress, any future applications. Talk about how this is quickly playing out in the real world. What are you hearing from people?
Yes, people who are like me, who are transgender. Right now, I can't get a passport that says male on it. I have to get a passport that says female on it. It's really inappropriate for me to have a female passport. These are real people. I'm transgender. I'm a real person. These are real documents that I have to hold and show to people. It's completely inappropriate to try to block me from being exactly who I am. And right now they're pending a lot of applications. They're holding people's documents. They're sending documents back to transgender people that don't match their gender identity, their gender expression. It's a complete dehumanization of transgender people.
And there are a number of families, especially who have young transgender kids who are about to start gender-affirming care or in the middle of gender-affirming care. And we know they've been looking to get passports in case they feel like they have to go to another country to get that care or continue that care, and they're not able to do that right now. Talk about some of the impacts that you're seeing if people can't get the passports or the documentation that they need.
There is a history of transgender people before we could change our passports of getting detained, of getting strip searched, of getting harassed. The dignity and privacy goes out the window when you're a transgender person and you hand someone a document that doesn't match who you are. So these young people, I pray for them every night. I know what they're going through is something that they'll get to the point in their life where I am, where I'm a happy transgender adult, exactly who I'm meant to be. So I speak to them, hang in there. There's people that love you, who you are, and we're gonna be all right.
Ashton, talk about if you are traveling, you're non-binary or transgender, and either your passport doesn't match your identity or how does this play out, and how big of a safety concern can it be for people when they are traveling out of the country?
Right. So my Ohio State driver's license says male on it. My old passport says female on it, and it looks like a young woman that I'm not anymore. And so I'm holding mismatched documents, male for state in my birth certificate and my license, female on my passport. I mean, it's very inappropriate for me to use the women's restroom. The same reason I need to have a male passport is the same reason it's inappropriate for me to use the female restroom at this point in my transition, years and years and years into who I am. And I'm supposed to out myself. It's about privacy and dignity for me to be able to change my passport to male. I mean, look, do you want me in the female restroom? That's not where I should be.
What do you think needs to happen right now to address? I mean, this executive order has created a number of situations and problems that need to be addressed. How would you like to see things move forward, considering that politically right now, President Trump is the president, Republicans control Congress. The courts could be the folks who decide to make some changes here. But what do you want to see happen to address some of the issues this has created?
I would love to see the president and his advisors to sit down with actual transgender people over a cup of coffee across the table, looking at each other, shaking each other's hands, actually seeing the humanity of what it means to be transgender. And when you take a moment to actually meet a trans person, actually hear about their life story, if you have any empathy in your heart, you start to open up and realize, I had to go through a lot to get to this place where I am, and I'm so happy that I am here. But to just try to legislate me out of existence, I don't know if Donald Trump has ever had a cup of coffee with a transgender man like me before.
You know, about 5 years ago, the Supreme Court came down with a landmark ruling essentially saying that when it comes to employment, transgender people can't be discriminated against. Do you have faith that if this gets to the Supreme Court, that they'll come down on your side?
That's what I hope, and that's what I pray about. I hope that we realize that every person has the basic human right to have documents that reflect exactly who they are. And I still have faith in the Supreme Court. I trust in my gut that there is a sense of respect and realizing that transgender Americans, it's Americans that just happen to be transgender, deserve dignity, respect. It's something that should be recognized legally.
Ashton Colby, we appreciate your time this morning, and we will continue to have this conversation over this issue that's impacting so many Americans right now.
Thank you.
Coming up, it is time for our series, Women Mean Business.
We're going to speak with the female founder behind the nation's first USDA-certified organic baby formula. That's next.
We are back with our series, Women Mean Business, and today's guest is working to redefine health standards in the multi-billion-dollar baby food industry. Laura Modi is the CEO and founder of Bobby. It's the first and only USDA-certified organic baby formula manufactured right here in the U.S. Bobby, it's named after her daughter's word for bottle, was founded in 2018 after Modi realized the only baby formulas available in stores contained ingredients that she would not even feed herself. Modi was raised by a family of entrepreneurs in Ireland and spent time at Google and at Airbnb before launching Bobby. Her mission is to support families and make the world a healthier place for our children. Laura Modi, of course, is a woman who means business, and we are so lucky to have her right here live in studio with us this morning. Laura, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so fascinated by what you've done, and I can't wait to hear about your journey. So if you could just take us back to, my understanding is you're a high-powered executive in the corporate world. You're also a mom, and you decide that you're going to set out and found this company. Take me to that moment and what it was like to get it started.
I always say, I mean, I never grew up dreaming of starting a powdered milk company, so it's deeply, deeply personal. I just assumed I would breastfeed. It was everything I wanted to do. In many ways, it was put on a pedestal. It is liquid gold. It is personal and dynamic and magical in a way that, honestly, very little comes to match that. And yet, not everyone can do it. So I found myself really desperately wanting to go after something, and I couldn't do it. I got mastitis, which is a very common infection, and I needed to turn to formula. And when I did, I was disappointed. I was frankly shocked to see that the same formulas that I myself probably had as a kid were the same ones I was buying my child. Hadn't changed in decades. And just knew that our babies deserved better. So I set out to do it.
I'm going to ask you more about what's in formula generally, but first, just what do you think about that stigma for women who, how damaging is it? What can we do to chip away at this idea that if you're not breastfeeding, you're not doing the right thing for your baby?
We can't be so reductionist about it. You can put something on a pedestal and say that that is liquid gold and it's amazing, and yet you also need to face the reality that not everyone can do it. And those babies, those parents also deserve what is best too. So we can't put it in a corner, we can't ignore it, we can't look at it like it isn't the sole nutrition and the most important product. So to change the stigma, we also need to elevate standards for formula.
So let's talk about what you found out about formula and what was in it. I mean, in researching for this conversation with you, I was shocked at some of the ingredients. I'm not a parent yet, but just hearing what you're putting in food for babies, I couldn't believe it. Tell me what you had learned that inspired you to do this.
I think it actually starts with the nutritional standards themselves. So it's a regulated product, which means the FDA comes in and they set a bar for what those nutritional standards are. And the last time those nutritional standards were meaningfully created was in the 80s.
Wow.
And they haven't been changed since. And you think about how far science, food science, has come along. Every other industry has seen a change. It should start with our baby's food first and foremost. And it's not just about ingredients. It's also about the farming practices, how those ingredients are extracted, manufactured, produced. Every part of the supply chain matters when it comes to baby food.
I imagine it's not easy to go about FDA approval for anything. I mean, you didn't just start a company. You started a company that has to go through a lot of regulatory processes. What was it like to learn those?
Well, I was quite naive, yes. So I would say, you know, embracing a little bit of the naivety to what you're up against actually maybe is the best thing to embrace. If I had known then the amount of hurdles, or to be fair, even the large conglomerates that really dominate the industry, it can be quite daunting. I believe that Bobby, in many ways, has created the playbook to allow more companies to be able to enter the space. But there was no yellow pages of infant formula manufacturing practices that I could turn to. So it was challenging.
How did you figure out what to put in your formula? Tell people who are curious what is different about yours.
Well, look, starting as a mother, I look at it as food. It's not a medical solution. This isn't rocket science, it's food science. So what is the best food to put in? There shouldn't be palm oil, there shouldn't be corn syrup. Let's use natural milk sugar. Let's ensure that if this product is something we would feed ourselves, what are the ingredients we would choose? And the other thing is it proven? Let's not just get some random ingredient that we think might do something. Let's know that it works. Let's know that it is something that comes from a natural source and that we're not testing something out on our babies.
I know your company also, in addition to having this mission to really kind of transform those health standards when it comes to infants and babies, you also have some strong principles within your company. Paid family leave. I know you also slashed prices at one point for your formula, knowing this is a burden for families. Walk me through making decisions like that as a business leader.
I believe in changing the industry. I want to look back on a legacy and say we fundamentally changed the product, the industry, but also culture associated with it. What our customers care about, what our employees care about, are things like paid federal leave. And if you think about it, the same government who says, hey, by the way, Mom, you should probably breastfeed exclusively for 6 months, is the same government who's not giving us the paid leave to do so. So we fight for it, and we get loud, and we work with people like Naomi Osaka, who use their platform to also get loud about it. We give grants to our own customers. We get signatures for Congress. It's more than words. We really do take action.
Laura Modi, very inspiring. Wonderful to talk with you this morning. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on all the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's get into what's making financial headlines this morning. Southwest announcing a historic round of layoffs. CNBC's Savannah Hanau has that and some other money news. Savannah, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning to you. Yeah, Southwest Airlines is cutting 15% of its corporate workforce. That's about 1,700 jobs. It is the first major layoffs in company history. And Southwest says the cuts will be focused almost entirely on corporate overhead and leadership positions. Now, These are a part of a plan by the airline to slash costs. In November, Southwest offered buyouts and an extended leave of absence to airport workers, including customer service agents. Amazon likely won't launch the AI-powered upgrade to Alexa for at least a month after it shows it off at an event next week. The Washington Post reports the delay is partly because the updated Alexa has had issues with giving inaccurate answers to test questions. The new Alexa could be tied to a subscription with features such as recalling conversations, ordering takeout, or even calling a taxi. And Spotify plans to roll out a Music Pro tier this year that will include remixing tools, access to concert tickets, and the hi-fi streaming quality the company promised 4 years ago. Bloomberg reports the premium add-on could cost an extra $5.99 a month, raising the monthly individual subscription to $17.98. The timeline hasn't been set in stone, as Spotify has yet to secure music rights from every major label.
All right, Silvana, thank you so much. Coming up, celebrating a special piece of golf history.
We'll take a look at the legacy of black caddies and how one famous course in Georgia is honoring them when we come back.
Welcome back, and brace yourselves because things might get a little coyote ugly. Of course, we're talking about the early 2000s cult classic. It has now been 25 years since Violet, played by actress Piper Perabo, left home to dance on bars right here in the Big Apple. Well, now some of the stars are getting back together. A screening and Q&A will take place at the Aero Theater in Santa Monica next week. All the proceeds from the event will go to Global Empowerment Mission to support those affected by the L.A. fires. Great cause. No word yet on if there's a bar there and there'll be any dancing or just conversation.
I think we need it. All right, thanks, Joe. Yep. Well, finally this hour, we're going to head down to Georgia, home, of course, to the legendary Augusta National Golf Club. Well, that course is now set to dedicate a mural to the legacy of black caddies who helped some of golf's biggest icons in their pursuit of Masters glory. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson has more.
I'm going to be your caddy for the day.
All right. For years, it was Jim Dent who carried the bags of golf legends.
I've got your club here.
Choosing the clubs. Thank you, caddy. That might lead them to a Masters win. We're at Forest Hills Golf Club now. Wow. But as a teen in the 1950s, Dent joined Augusta National's all-black caddy corps that players were required to use and began learning the game of golf on a course he wasn't allowed to play.
Racism and discrimination. Did you experience any of that?
Oh, sure, but I didn't care what you said to me. As long as it didn't bother me, it didn't bother me. Instead, many local black caddies focused on reading the greens, becoming experts of the course and the secret weapon for golfers like Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. Inspired by it all, Dent decided to take his swing. It was a long journey. It was hard. Turning pro in 1966, going on to win a dozen senior PGA Tour tournaments.
What do you feel like that first job as a caddy gave you?
It gave me everything I own. If I didn't learn how to do caddying, I never would have been a golfer, and I would have made the little money I made, you know. In the 1980s, after nearly 50 years, Augusta National began allowing outside caddies, and the black caddies all but vanished. Now 85, Dent reflects on the irony of that original rule, rooted in racism.
And so you all learned.
By caddy.
And when the time came,
it was easy.
you were ready to take your place out there.
Yep. Claiming their spot in a storied tradition as masters of the green in their own right. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News, Augusta, Georgia.
How neat is that?
That is very cool. Priscilla, thanks for that story. That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, more frightening scenes on the runway, this time in Toronto. A Delta flight from Minneapolis actually flipping upside down while landing. All 80 people on board made it off the plane alive. The international investigation now underway into what went wrong. More mayhem from Mother Nature. Millions of Americans waking up to yet another Arctic blast of wintry weather. Frigid temps and dangerous icy conditions causing headaches on highways from New York all the way to Colorado. And the danger is not letting up quite yet. Our Angie Lastman has your full forecast. Also this morning, the explosive fallout from President Trump and Elon Musk's sweeping federal overhaul. A top Social Security official now stepping down after staffers from Mr. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency tried to get at highly sensitive data. How the White House is now defending this latest shakeup. Plus, betting on the future. We're going to dig into the meteoric rise of online gambling that's leading to a spike in folks looking for help. How you can separate fun from what could turn into a costly addiction. An issue getting a lot of attention in the wake of this year's Super Bowl. So many states making it easier to bet. All right, we're going to begin this hour in Toronto, that terrifying crash landing of a Delta Airlines flight.
Yeah, the plane was arriving from Minneapolis yesterday afternoon when it somehow overturned on the runway at Toronto Pearson International Airport. There were 80 people on board, including 4 crew members. At least 18 people were injured, but none miraculously critically. Video on social media showed people being evacuated while the plane was upside down. Now the investigation into what happened is underway. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk has the latest from Toronto.
This morning, the plane is still on the tarmac, and there are 2 runways that are closed. Looking at the video from this accident, it is remarkable that there was no loss of life. The plane hitting the tarmac hard, bursting into flames, and then flipping over. The passengers inside suspended upside down in their seatbelts, scrambling with the plane still on fire to safety.
An unimaginable scene at Toronto's Pearson International Airport.
Oh, no. We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Delta Airlines Flight 4819 crashed into the runway and overturned.
The aircraft is upside down and burning.
Video posted on social media shows passengers evacuating the plane, operated by regional jet company Endeavour Air.
Drop it. Come on.
One passenger filming the moment he jumped out of the emergency exit onto a tarmac covered in patches of snow.
Yo, I was just on this plane.
All 76 passengers and 4 crew members are accounted for. Paramedic services saying at least 18 were injured, including a child. 2 people were airlifted to a nearby trauma center.
There was no loss of life. And this is in due part to our heroic and trained professionals.
Bystanders filming giant clouds of black smoke as first responders quickly covered the plane in foam to prevent flames from spreading. Officials say it's too early to speculate about the cause of the crash, but the weather conditions are coming into sharp focus. At around the time the plane landed, wind gusts reached close to 40 miles per hour amid blowing snow and negative 2-degree wind chill. It comes amid some confusion over the presence of crosswinds, which can impact plane landings. Toronto Pearson Fire Chief saying the runway was dry and there were no crosswind conditions at the time. But according to aviation tracking website Flight Radar 24, weather advisories indicated a gusting crosswind. Monday's accident involved a CRJ-900 plane, popular for short-haul flights.
The next thing I saw is basically a plane, the CRJ plane that basically flipped on the runway.
The regional jet is a bigger version of the same model involved in the deadly collision in Washington, D.C. between a military helicopter and an American Airlines flight just 20 days ago. That crash, the deadliest in nearly 25 years, killed 67 people.
Before this accident, the airport was trying to get through a backlog of flights after 2 successive storms. Now, with this accident and those 2 runways shut down, travelers can expect more chaos. Back to you.
All right, Stephanie, thank you.
We are getting a first-hand look at the evacuation that took place shortly after that Delta flight overturned on the runway in Toronto.
Yeah, you just saw some of this video. It was taken by Pete Kukov. He recorded this as he was being evacuated quickly off the plane while first responders worked to put foam on the plane. He discussed his experience earlier this morning on Today. Here's part of that conversation.
For me, it was just kind of like the wheels touched down, and then all of a sudden I was in the window seat on the looker's left side, and then all of a sudden I just remember being fully sideways and I was looking down and just seeing like sparks and flames and whatever was grinding against the ground. And then, yeah, it happened pretty dang quick, and we were just upside down hanging from our seatbelts.
Pete, we are so glad you're okay this morning. And you described it as like bats hanging from the roof of a cave. You were all dangling effectively upside down in your seatbelts. Can you describe what was going through your mind in that moment, and then how quickly and how you were able to get yourself out of the plane?
Yeah, so obviously we ended up upside down, and everyone was wearing their seatbelts as they should have been, including myself. And we just got to a stop, and yeah, I remember just hanging there, and me and the lady next to me, we got out pretty quick, and we're kind of able to just like unclip like you would, and then just kind of lower ourselves to be on the ground, which was the roof, I guess. And then I was at the window, but we were told, we did it really quickly, like within like stopping, we like both immediately like kind of got our bearings, unclipped, got down, and then they announced not to get out of their seats, so people were hanging there for I can't remember how long, but just about a minute, and then they were like, okay, like get down. And at that point people were feeling pretty frantic, and but everyone was obviously able to get down. Most people needed help, I think, from someone who had already got down. And then we kind of just slowly moved off the plane.
Now, the Toronto crash follows a string of high-profile aviation crashes in the last few weeks, and dozens have died. NBC News senior correspondent Tom Costello covers aviation for us, joins us now with more on how these incidents do have some travelers on edge. Tom, good morning.
Yeah, absolutely. But we need to underscore that none of these incidents appear to have anything in common. It had been 16 years since the last fatal commercial plane crash in this country. This recent rash of crashes appears to be coincidental, and flying is still very safe. The terrifying landing for Delta Flight 4819.
Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Comes after a string of fatal aviation crashes over the past 3 weeks.
We transferred debris from the water to FBI here on the eastern shore.
January 29th, an Army Black Hawk helicopter slammed into an American Eagle regional jet over the Potomac River. 67 people killed, the deadliest in a quarter century. The NTSB says the chopper pilots may not have heard air traffic control instructions to pass behind the jet and may have had bad altitude data. January 31st, a medevac Learjet crashed in northeast Philadelphia, 7 dead. The NTSB recovered the cockpit voice recorder and is still investigating. February 7th, a Bering Air regional plane flying through terrible winter weather crashed into the sea ice off Nome, Alaska. 10 people dead. Then Monday's crash in Toronto.
It happened so fast that I just remember like kind of pulling myself in and trying not to hit my head against anything. And luckily our flight attendants and everything were helpful for us.
Everything, drop it. Come on.
The quick action of the Delta flight attendants is being credited with saving lives in Toronto.
In an emergency, the priority for flight attendants is to make a hole in the airplane and to get people out safely, give them the proper commands to protect themselves, and then get out of the plane and not impede others.
Though with spring break coming up around the corner, many flyers are on edge after a series of unrelated crashes.
I really didn't feel safe at all today because there's so much stuff going on.
In recent weeks, we've had a string of unfortunate accidents. There is no common link that we can draw between any of these.
Meanwhile, the country is still short some 3,000 to 4,000 air traffic controllers, with many working mandatory overtime. The FAA has struggled for years to keep up with retirements and attrition. The Trump administration says it has fired nearly 400 probationary FAA staffers, though not in critical safety positions or air traffic control, instead promising to staff up air traffic control faster.
We're going to remake our airspace, and we're going to do it quickly, and we have the support of the Congress.
All right, back to Toronto. Air traffic control, of course, under the jurisdiction of Transport Canada Civil Aviation. The Canadian Transportation Safety Board will be analyzing the plane's black box to get a good read on how the plane was handling the winds at the time, how fast it was coming in, how hard it came in. There's a lot that they can glean from the black boxes, the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, guys.
You know, Tommy, this crash could have been so much worse. Talk about how all these passengers were able to survive despite hanging upside down.
Well, first of all, thankfully, it looks like most of them were wearing their seatbelts, right? If they had been tossed around the cabin, that could be a different story. Second of all, planes are designed to give passengers time to get out. In other words, they are flame retardant enough to buy you the time to get out of the plane. And under FAA regs, you're supposed to be able to get out within 90 seconds. And then separately, I mentioned how important the flight attendants were. You've got to hand it to the firefighters who were on that scene so quickly and immediately using the cannons on their fire engines to blast foam onto the fuel, the jet fuel that was on fire. I mean, that is classic 101 airport fire response training. Will be studied at airports across the country for their quick response, getting there fast and saving lives.
Thank goodness it all came together. All right, Tom, thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's now bring in Kitty Higgins, a former member of the National Transportation Safety Board. Kitty, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's pick up where Tom Costello left off. I mean, this crash landing, the latest high-profile incident in the last few weeks among several. So let's talk. I'd love to hear your perspective on, how concerned people should be about getting on a plane. Do we have an air safety issue on our hands?
Well, as Tom said, and I would just echo his remarks, there is no common denominator with these various accidents that have been mentioned. And weather clearly was a factor in Alaska. It was a factor in the crash yesterday, we assume, although the investigation is just beginning. So I think people should take account of how many flights there are on a daily basis all over the world. And our system is very safe, as is the Canadian system. And the accident will, investigators will find out what exactly went wrong. Was it anything with the mechanics in the plane? Was it the weather conditions with wind and snow on the runway? We can all speculate about that, but we shouldn't do that. We should let them do their job and wait till we get the facts, because that's what will make a difference in the long run in terms of solving the problem and making sure that this kind of accident doesn't happen again.
Well, let's talk about that, how we do get those facts. As a former member of the NTSB, just walk us through the initial steps of an investigation like this and how investigators begin to piece everything together.
Well, in this case, Canada has the lead. Their safety board is excellent. We, the United States, will be a party to that investigation since the flight left from Minneapolis. It is also a Delta airline. The facts will be, they will interview the passengers. Obviously, there's a lot of video that they'll look at. They will look at what the conditions were, as I've mentioned, in terms of weather. They will also look at what instructions the pilots had from air traffic control, what guidance they might have had in terms of dealing with the weather. They will look at runway reports from previous pilots who may have reported conditions that would be helpful in informing what happened in this accident. And that's just the beginning. And again, they'll look at the mechanics of the plane itself. Was there anything wrong with the plane? It's a very safe plane, as I understand. They will also look at the training that the pilots received, what their work schedule was, were there anything that might have affected their performance. And thank goodness the crew, the cabin crew, clearly did their job, as Tom mentioned, as did the responders at the airport. So there's a lot that went right. There's also clearly a lot that went wrong. And let's talk about seatbelts, because seatbelts clearly were a life-saving factor in this accident. And that's, people were suspended upside down, but they apparently, everybody must have had their seatbelts on, which is a great indicator of why keep your seatbelt fastened until the plane is actually at the gate.
Yeah. Oh, Kitty Higgins, thank you very much. Your expertise is appreciated this morning.
This morning, tens of millions of Americans are waking up to brutal cold alerts as another winter storm system sweeps across the U.S. This latest blast of winter follows catastrophic flooding in Kentucky over the weekend that left at least 14 people dead and left thousands without safe drinking water. Now, Kentucky and several other states are bracing for the potential of heavy snowfall. Some areas could even see sub-zero wind chills. NBC News correspondent Adrian Broaddus is live in Chicago, where the wind chill could drop into the negatives today. Adrian, good morning.
Hey there, Joe. Good morning to you. This is the type of cold that hurts, but our thermometer is helping us tell the story. Right now, it's showing it's -4 degrees here in Chicago, but when you factor in the wind chill, it feels like -16. But Chicago isn't alone when it comes to this deep freeze. This morning, freezing temperatures and heavy snow sweeping the nation. Overnight, communities throughout the Midwest and beyond facing another blast of wintry weather and waking up to dangerous, slick roads. In Pennsylvania, intense lake effect snow causing headaches for motorists. This tractor trailer overturning onto its side. Icy conditions on interstates from New York to Colorado, causing dozens of vehicles to spin out of control, creating 2 massive pileups Monday. Over 80 million people are under extreme cold warnings, with an Arctic blast spanning from central Texas to the Canadian border, and wind chills as low as 50 degrees below zero, blasting states like Montana and Minnesota. The National Weather Service warning of, quote, life-threatening cold in North Dakota. Trucks salting the streets in Texas, where officials there are warning this could be the coldest weather event of the year. A reminder of 2021's power grid catastrophe that ended nearly 250 lives. Governor Abbott expressing confidence a crisis like that will not happen again.
The power grid has never been stronger than it is now.
Across Kentucky, thousands remain without power and safe drinking water after a weekend of deadly flash flooding that killed at least 14 people across 3 states and prompted more than 1,000 rescues that are still ongoing. And you know what? This -4 isn't just uncomfortable. This is dangerous. If you have to be outside, remember, frostbite can set in within minutes. Some of you have to go outside to walk your dog, or you depend on public transportation. Make sure you bundle up and layer up. Joe?
Good advice there. Adrian, thank you so much. We're joined now by Kate Clemens for more on this, specifically what's going on in Kentucky. She's the founder of the group Roscoe's Daughter, founded in 2022 after the devastating floods in eastern Kentucky. Kate, good morning. Thanks for taking time to speak with us. I know you're probably busy right now. You live in one of the hard-hit areas of Kentucky. I mean, just walk us through, even ahead of this next winter system, how bad the situation is there right now and what the recovery process is looking like.
Thank you for having me on this morning. It is just, it's honestly hard to put into words. So when it hit us in 2022, we had no warning. It was just complete and utter destruction. And I want to be clear that we never recovered. We have been reliving this hell every day since 2022. And it's just really hard. I just can't comprehend that what was once described as a 1,000-year flood is now a 2-year flood. We've never recovered. Our culverts were never repaired. The roads have not been repaired. The creeks have not been dredged. So it has looked like a third world country from 2.5 years ago. This flood, because of those issues had not been addressed completely, it just completely overwhelmed. But like I said, this isn't something we aren't used to seeing. We want to go back to pre-2022, but this is what we're used to. This devastation.
Yeah, Kate, tell us what you mean by used to. Like, is it common to see this level of flooding during this time of year, or maybe it's just common for the last 3 years?
No, this is not common. This is our normal because it was biblical what happened in 2022, but since we never fully recovered from that, it's been our normal for almost 3 years now. But before that, it was referred to as a 1,000-year flood. in America. No one had experienced it. The federal government had never experienced it. So we honestly all went through it together for the first time. And that's what it's just so hard to wrap my head around, that what was referred to as a 1,000-year flood is now a 2-year flood. We never recovered from the first one, and now the second one, it has just really hindered any progress that we had made.
Right now, what is the biggest need for your community?
So the biggest need is shelter and repairing the infrastructure, because like I said, we had no warning in 2022, but we've had warning every day for the last 3 years, because we have known that we need to dredge the creeks, we need to repair the roads, and we need to fix the culverts, and we have not done that. And until we do that, lives will remain at risk. I'm very concerned with this recent flooding, because they were not repaired initially. What that has further done to the already damaged structures, roads are breaking off, mudslides. Just because the water has receded, lives are going to continue to remain at risk until we address infrastructure. And, you know, we're just a local nonprofit, and local government, their hands are really tied too in what they can address, because infrastructure is really what we depend on, state level and federal.
Kate Clemens, we appreciate your time this morning. We will continue to check in with you to make sure to see how everything is going, all right?
Thank you.
Let's stay on weather now and get a check from Angie Lastman.
She's got more details on those chilly temps that Adrian was talking about earlier. Angie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It feels almost wrong to just call them chilly. I mean, this is Arctic air that has spilled into parts of the northern tier of our country and is going to work as far south as Texas. Here's what's going on. We've got kind of this funneling of this cold air that's working down from those northern latitudes, places in northern Canada and Greenland. The core of this coldest air currently sits across, of course, those northern states, so the northern plains. But look at how far south this goes. We're talking parts of Texas, specifically Oklahoma, Arkansas, all seeing some of this record cold potential settling in for the coming days. So here's what we've got right now. Essentially, cold weather alerts from the northern plains down to Texas. No surprise there. We've got some that have additionally been added across parts of New England, 81 million people in total, with these temperatures really shocking this morning. I mean, we have feels like temperatures 30 below in Minneapolis. That only takes about 15 minutes for exposed skin to set in for frostbite. We can see places in the northern portions of Wisconsin and Minnesota dealing with 40, 50 degrees below in the Dakotas. These temperatures are only slightly going to improve here as the day goes on. When we're talking about our actual temperatures, notice where the highs, these are the warmest points of the day. Look where they land. 11 degrees in Chicago. We're running 20 to 30, even 40 degrees below normal in some of these spots. Omaha, you're expected to top out at just 1 degree. And of course, you add on those winds and you get the wind chill values for what it feels like across this region. Even as far south as Amarillo, you are expected to sit into the teens for your highest temperature today, not even going to make it into the 20s. So again, those feels like temperatures are going to continue to be brutal. This lasts into tomorrow too. Single digits for Rapid City, Omaha, Chicago into the teens, Memphis into the 20s, along with Dallas and Lubbock. We really still see the chilly air stay in place as we get into late week. It won't be as harsh, but I think we'll take what we can get. 11 in Kansas City on Thursday, getting to the 20s and even 30s by the time we roll into the weekend there. 30s for New York City from really Thursday into Friday, but we inch closer to those 40s. So some improvements on the way. Now, we've also got that winter storm that's going to leave us with the potential for, you know, a whole lot of folks interrupted, with travel interrupted, with day-to-day activities interrupted. We've got 60 million people under these winter alerts, already dealing with some snow across the middle of the country, St. Louis, Louisville, waking up to a bit of that. And some icy conditions are going to be possible because remember, I told you in parts of Oklahoma and Texas, temperatures have really bottomed out. So we've got the potential for some freezing rain there. We've also got some rain closer to the coast. Those gusty storms will work their way to the east tomorrow along with the rest of that system. It does mean snow and ice also possible across parts of the mid-Atlantic. And then we round out your Thursday still dealing with the snow in some of those same regions, specifically the Great Lakes to the mid-Atlantic. When it's all said and done, pretty impressive snowfall totals by Thursday, up to a foot in Springfield, guys. It'll be possible to see just about that for Norfolk as well. And then we've got places like Nashville and Wichita that could pick up, half a dozen inches of snow as well. So busy when it comes to the potential for rain as well across the Gulf Coast, leaving us with flood concerns too.
So much going on, Angie. Thank you.
This morning, Russia and U.S. officials are meeting in Saudi Arabia for peace talks aimed at ending the Ukraine war. It's the first in-person meeting between the two nations in 3 years, but absent from the talks is Ukraine. President Zelensky says he won't recognize any deal that's made without his country's involvement. NBC News chief international correspondent Keir Simmons is in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh with the latest.
Not for 3 years has the world witnessed this. The first formal, if hastily organized, US-Russian talks since Moscow's illegal invasion of Ukraine. The Trump administration unlocking Russia's isolation from the West in a Saudi Arabian palace without Ukraine or Europe at the table. President Trump's Secretary of State, National Security Advisor and envoy opposite their Kremlin counterparts.
I think President Trump will know very quickly whether this is a real thing.
This morning, NBC News catching Russia's foreign minister as he left for the meeting.
Are you hopeful? Are you feeling hopeful?
For now, President Zelensky on the periphery, insisting last night, we cannot recognize any agreements about us made without us. But the fast-moving events have left European leaders in disarray. In Paris yesterday, again unable to agree on sending troops to help secure Ukraine. Russian television offering wall-to-wall coverage with interviews on the flight and touching down in Riyadh. One Russian official and his wife, the US believes, are close to President Putin's daughter. His role here to get sanctions lifted. He himself sanctioned by the US.
We really see that President Trump and his team is a team of problem solvers.
Almost 3 years of war has seen hundreds of thousands of casualties, Western officials say. A delegation of US senators in Kyiv trying to calm Ukrainian nerves that their country won't be carved up without them.
Of course they have to be at the table. There are thousands of people who have given their lives to defend this country.
While Russian forces pound Ukraine, a sobering reminder, this is the way President Putin negotiates.
Our thanks to Keir Simmons for that report.
Well, President Trump is pushing forward with his plan to transform the federal government after some major layoffs this past weekend. A top Social Security official is among those out of a job, resigning after members of Elon Musk's team tried to access a sensitive computer system there. NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake joins us with more on this. Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning to you. And yeah, we've seen these layoffs and terminations spread across the federal government these last several days, both through cut costs, although civilian salaries are a small portion of the government's bottom line, and to align staff with Donald Trump's priorities. But now staffers affiliated with the department known as DOGE are beginning to access sensitive systems inside the government, which hold Americans' personal, tax, and financial information, generating a whole new wave of backlash.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk's wrecking ball-style overhaul of the federal government, which has already terminated thousands of jobs, added an agency head this weekend when the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration resigned. According to two sources, career official Michelle King stepping down after a clash with staffers from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency over access to sensitive government records.
They suspect that there are tens of millions of deceased people who are receiving fraudulent Social Security payments.
The resignation comes as the fallout continues from a DOGE-affiliated IRS staffer's expected access to that agency's computer systems containing taxpayers' personal information. The White House defending that move on Monday.
We are restoring security controls at IRS.
It all comes as President's Day became a day of protest against the president and Musk in cities nationwide.
I think the person who currently occupies the White House has no business being there and is making a chaotic mess of our country.
NBC News learning the administration is preparing to fire hundreds of high-level Homeland Security employees this week who are deemed not to be in line with the administration's goals. And the FAA's layoffs of some 400 probationary employees this weekend, drawing protests from the workers' union.
These are the folks that make everything happen. So the rest of us that are engaged in aviation safety can make sure that all of that is happening.
The agency says it continues to hire and onboard air traffic controllers and has retained employees who perform critical safety functions. Kate Sandlin moved from Alabama to Maryland in January to take a job as an education outreach specialist with the National Institutes of Health. On Saturday, she became one of at least 1,000 employees there to be fired.
I have no idea how I'm going to recover from this.
And in a court filing overnight, the administration attested that despite all of the recent focus on Elon Musk and his own promotion of himself as Donald Trump's cost cutter, the billionaire CEO isn't actually running DOGE and, quote, has no actual or formal authority to make government decisions himself. He's merely a senior advisor to the president. As for the president, he remains in Florida again today, where he's expected to sign a new batch of executive orders this afternoon. Savannah?
All right, Garrett, thank you very much.
Much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including a deep dive into the multi-million-dollar business of breakups.
But first, after the break, the latest on the health of Pope Francis this morning, extending his hospital stay, fighting what the Vatican is calling a complex clinical condition. Those stories and more are next. Welcome back. This morning, the Vatican announced 88-year-old Pope Francis is canceling additional events this week, continuing his stay in a Rome hospital where he's been since last Friday for a respiratory infection. NBC News International correspondent Molly Hunter joins us now with more on this. Hey, Molly, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. That's right. The Vatican announced today that Pope Francis is now canceling his public-facing events through the weekend. Now, in that announcement, though, they also said he spent a peaceful night in the hospital and he ate breakfast. Doctors say that is a key detail because it means he is well enough to hold down food.
This morning, another update from the Vatican on the Pope's serious case of bronchitis. A new statement says the Holy Father continues to be without fever, adding his clinical condition is stable.
We came to pray for our Pope. He's not feeling fine. So we came to pray for him.
On Monday, the Vatican offering a new detail. Pope Francis is fighting a polymicrobial infection of the respiratory tract, which has led to a further modification of the therapy, adding test results indicate a complex clinical picture that will require an appropriate hospital stay. But how long exactly, the Vatican didn't say.
The Pope is hospitalized with a pretty serious infection. It's called a polymicrobial infection because it's not just one, but possibly two or more bacteria causing this degree of an infection.
But complicating his treatment, his age, and numerous health challenges over the years. Bronchitis multiple times recently, a severe case of pneumonia a few years ago, multiple surgeries for an abdominal hernia, as well as his colon, and when he was a young man, part of his lung was removed. Francis has also struggled with mobility issues in recent years. Lingering knee and back pain means he often uses a wheelchair at public events, sometimes a cane or a walker. But the spiritual leader of the world's 1 billion Catholics rarely slows down.
He's exposed to so many of the people that we're seeing right now who are sick with flu, RSV, COVID, and a number of other viruses around the world.
While Francis is heeding doctors' advice, he's also downplayed his health issues. In his autobiography, Hope, out last month, he writes, "I am well. The reality is, quite simply, that I am old."
Savannah, in that book, he also wrote, "The church is governed using the head and the heart, not the legs. No word yet on when he might be discharged." Savannah?
All right, Molly, thank you very much, and great to have you back with us.
Now we got some breaking news out of the Middle East. Hamas says it will release the last of the living Israeli hostages this week.
NBC News reporter Matt Bodner joins us from London with that and other world news. Matt, good morning.
Savannah, Joe, good morning. Hamas is now saying that they will release those 6 remaining living hostages on Saturday. At the same time, Hamas is also saying that it will hand over the bodies of 4 deceased hostages before the end of this week. This all comes as tensions with Hezbollah in Lebanon continue. Israel says that it will leave its troops in 5 strategic locations in southern Lebanon. Under Israel's agreement with Hezbollah, the deadline to fully withdraw from Lebanon will pass today. Today's deadline, by the way, represents already a 3-week extension over the original deal. Moving along now to Brazil, where Rio de Janeiro charted its hottest day in at least the past decade. Temperatures hit 111 degrees on Monday, driving local residents to the beach to try and escape it. Rio established a climate alert system 10 years ago. An alert has been issued for extreme heat over the next coming days. For the moment, the city does not plan to curtail public events, but officials are warning people to take precautions when venturing out into this heat. And we'll wrap up this hour right here in the UK. Kensington Palace has released 4 portraits drawn by Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, of course, and her 3 children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. The portraits were posted to the social media site X with a caption reading, "Drawing portraits with children can provide a moment of connection, but also, more importantly, it can be fun." All 4 of the portraits are credited to the group, and I think they did a much better job than I would have.
I mean, no stick figures, so that's an improvement over me. So
absolutely.
Right.
Beautiful.
Matt Bodner, thank you so much.
Coming up, betting on the future.
It might come as no surprise, but new research shows a surge in folks looking for help with gambling addictions, fueled by a rise in those popular sportsbook apps. So how can you separate a little fun from a full-fledged problem? We're going to dig into it next.
We are back with a look at a newly released study showing a major surge in people looking for help with gambling addiction. Sports betting was legalized in much of the country back in 2018. Well, since then, online searches for phrases like this one on your screen, "Am I addicted to gambling?" they've increased by 23%.
The study also found a massive spike in total sports wagers over a 5-year period. That research, published in JAMA, says Americans spent nearly $5 billion on sports and online gambling in 2018. Fast forward to 2023, when we have the most recent numbers, that amount skyrocketing to more than $120 billion.
Wow, from 5 to 120, that's just amazing. For more, let's talk with Jamie Costello. She's the Director of Programs for the National Council on Problem Gambling. Jamie, good morning. Thanks very much for joining us. So the study pointed out, in addition to some of these startling numbers, that 94% of sports wagers in 2023 were being placed online. Maybe not a surprise, given what we just mentioned with the legalization and sort of this rush of online options. Is this now something that we should be concerned about?
Absolutely. We're seeing similar trends as shown in this report when it comes to implementation of mobile. We've seen much higher spikes in helpline incoming traffic, which is concerning. So our problematic indicators definitely align with what they found in this study. And additionally, if we dig a little bit deeper, some of our call volume for the National Problem Gambling Helpline follows the same exact trends as those Google trends. So it's definitely concerning. We've seen similar increases in problematic risk indicators and things like that. So definitely something to be concerned about at this point in time.
So with more phone calls coming in, with more people just Googling, looking into the signs of gambling addiction, what are the signs people should look out for that do take gambling from something that's fun and occasional to something that is an addiction?
Sure. So gambling is meant to be a form of entertainment. And so some of the warning signs are it's not fun anymore. You're not gambling for entertainment. You're gambling with more money than you can afford to lose. You're gambling alone and hiding it from people. You've tried to stop and you just can't. You can't control or you can't stop. Those are some of the red flags that somebody may be struggling and you might want to think about considering your behavior.
Let's talk about resources. If someone does think they have a problem, maybe something you just said resonates with someone listening, what is available for help?
So the National Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-GAMBLER, seen on the screen now, as well as the link. We can direct you and connect you to resources across the country. And so those resources include peer support groups, workbooks if people are not interested in seeking one-on-one help, one-on-one counseling, things like that. So any resource that somebody is looking for, we can get them connected to care in their state.
Is this, I was just going to ask real quick, apologies. Is this something that you think lawmakers need to be addressing or looking into more, or someone needs to be addressing more as the accessibility expands?
Absolutely. It's definitely a shared responsibility between the industry and states and the federal government. So the industry and regulators have a responsibility to develop policies and programs to ensure people are gambling responsibly, and they have the tools to do so and get people to help as they need it. We need states to recognize that gambling services need to be funded. Many states are failing to invest in problem gambling services. A report put out in 24 by the National Association of Administrators for Disordered Gambling Services, or what might be known as NADIGs, reported a historic high in funding for problem gambling services. Unfortunately, it's much lower than what we see for services in reference to substance use disorder, for example. And then, of course, there's no federal attention paid to the problem. And so it really is a shared responsibility, and we need to get attention at the federal level, the state level, and the operator level.
Jamie Costello, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're getting into the business of breakups.
After the break, the booming multi-million-dollar industry that's helping some lovers get over it. We'll explain next.
Welcome back. Let's get to some of the morning's biggest financial headlines. Intel could be heading toward a breakup with itself.
CNBC's Silvana Henao joins us with more on that. Other money news as well. Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good morning. That is right. So the Wall Street Journal is reporting that rival chip makers Broadcom and Taiwan Semiconductor are eyeing potential deals to split up the iconic company. Broadcom has been looking at Intel's chip design and marketing business, while Taiwan Semi has explored controlling all or some of Intel's factories. A White House official telling Reuters the Trump administration may not support the U.S. plans being operated by a foreign company, even though Bloomberg reports Taiwan Semi was considering making a move at President Trump's request. Apple is revisiting the idea of putting ads in Apple Maps. So Apple already shows ads in the News and Stocks app, and Bloomberg reports the company is giving this more thought for Maps, although there are no firm plans or a timeline. Businesses could pay to appear higher in search results or make their icons appear larger on the map. Now, this could also allow Apple to offer an ad-free map service for an additional fee. And Huawei launching the smartphone industry's first tri-foldable device today. The Mate XT, which was first unveiled 5 months ago, will be priced at about $3,600. And while it's called a tri-fold, the phone has 3 mini panels and it folds only twice. It will be sold in markets outside of China, but Huawei has yet to say in which countries. Huawei was once the world's biggest smartphone player, but U.S. sanctions have cut off its access to advanced chips and Google's Android operating system.
Huh, interesting. I'm not going to pay that for a phone, but still interesting.
Yeah, no, $3,600.
All right. Thanks, Silvana. Appreciate it.
You've probably heard of dating services that help you find love, of course. But what happens when you go through a breakup? Well, a new industry is emerging that aims to help you get over that heartbreak.
NBC News Daily anchor Morgan Radford got a firsthand look at the fast-growing businesses that hope to guide you through the aftermath of a breakup for a fee.
The familiar scenes that usually follow a breakup now have a whole new look. A new wave of post-breakup services is turning broken hearts
sign up for my newsletter
into a booming industry.
I hear you call yourself the chief heart hacker. I am. What does that mean? I help people create healthier relationship patterns.
Amy Chan is a self-help author and founder of Renew Breakup Boot Camp, hosting a series of retreats around the country aimed at helping people move on.
Take me through what a typical day at your breakup boot camp looks like.
Okay, so everyone is in programming starting at 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. So one session will be with a therapist, one will be with a trauma psychologist, and then some will be breath work, some will be body movements to move anger and emotions through the body.
So much has changed in the dating landscape. Do you think that it's changed so much that it almost necessitates something like this?
I think that people are really struggling with relational tools. And I've seen an increase in ghosting as a way to deal with the uncomfortable emotions. People really want to connect, but a lot of the times they don't know how.
And it sounds like they also don't know how to disconnect.
Correct.
Which is why Amy holds her boot camp in places like this at the Hemlock Neversink Hotel and Spa, 2 hours north of Manhattan.
This is where we have breathwork classes. We also have a somatic therapist who helps the participants do these movement exercises to move anger through the body.
So you're really releasing all the bad energy.
We're releasing the stored emotions that are in the body.
All this while there has been a seismic shift in relationships. National statistics show there are more than 600,000 divorces in the U.S. each year. And of course, that doesn't even capture the number of breakups, especially since the number of unmarried couples living together has more than doubled in the last 3 decades, leading to more separations that aren't always as formal as divorces, but sometimes just as devastating and costly.
Hand on the chest.
The Renew Boot Camp typically runs between $2,000 and $4,000 for 4 days. And online, there's everything from self-described breakup coaches.
You deserve to be over your ex. You can be over your ex.
To dietitians who help replace common comfort foods with healthier heartbreak fare. There's even apps like Relationship Hero that offer online coaching for between $80 and $300 for a session.
I will literally have clients come in and I'll be like, all right, let's see it. And I want to see their whole text conversation.
You'll actually read a client's text messages and help them decide what to write back?
Yes, but we'll make sure it's in their own wording.
For Chelsea Burka, who attended Renew Boot Camp in 2019, the journey to self-discovery was life-changing.
Before Breakup Boot Camp, I had ended an engagement and was just feeling really lost in life. And now, 5 years later, I am living the life of my dreams.
Now, she says she's in a happy and healthy relationship.
Things do get better, and especially when you have the ability to put in the work.
All right, wow, our thanks to Morgan Radford for that report. Well, to illustrate just how serious a breakup can be, in some countries like Germany, you can actually get paid time off after a breakup. A few companies in Japan and the Philippines offer the same.
I feel like in America, no one would go to work.
Yeah,
That would be
true.
All right.
Coming up, a storied skier who's taken the slopes by storm.
Yeah, he might be nearly 100 years old. That's not stopping one downhill dynamo from proving that age is just a number. We're going to introduce you next. Finally this hour, the story of a season pass holder who's kind of a mainstay at one ski resort in my home state of Minnesota.
He's been carving up the slopes every year for nearly a quarter century, proving that age really is nothing but a number. Boyd Hoopert from our affiliate station KARE 11 in Minneapolis has his story.
Morning, guys.
For some people at Welch Village,
Fantastic.
skiing
Feels great.
never gets old.
Oh, hi, boys.
Skiing, perhaps.
Helmet,
but
ski boots.
That doesn't mean ski-ers.
A special fence.
Alex Rivlin's gearing up
Oops.
is a process.
Done.
Not surprising.
And the last one.
When you're...
Down.
How old?
I am, I forgot, 96.
It's one thing
Are you kidding?
for Alex
96.
to amaze inside the chalet.
Yeah.
Another out here. The skier carving a path at Welch Village was born in 1928.
Dang, I can't believe he's able to do this.
Born before chairlifts
Nice to see you.
were even invented.
I usually sing something.
If Alex isn't lifting his voice in song, he's riding the lift, laughing. Giddiness that accompanies him up and down the hill.
He's an amazing guy. He's a machine.
A machine of a man, built
Very active.
in the time of the hammer and sickle.
Yes, it's me. We were racing in the suburb of St. Petersburg.
Alex first fell for skiing in his native Russia,
Always wearing hat.
where he'd worked as a researcher on a nuclear icebreaker.
Twice, North Pole.
His skis always along,
It's me.
though more for chuckles
For fun, for fun.
than white knuckles.
No heels, only ice, ice and ice.
But back in St. Petersburg, Alex turned up the heat.
The championship of Soviet Union,
He skied professionally
somewhere in the middle.
and became a coach
This one.
for aspiring Soviet Olympians. His passion on display.
I tried to kiss a ski.
Then, in 2001,
Better life.
Alex
I'm very happy.
immigrated to America,
Out of my way.
where his love for skiing was rekindled on the slopes of Welch Village.
I am running.
Today actually marks his 30th day this season.
Welch's Taylor Jackson
Yes.
keeps count.
Last year it was nearly 60 days, and he was the last one off the hills last year. When we shut down all the lifts, he was the last one out there.
Then Alex left Welch with a promise.
He always makes sure to tell us that he bought a season pass for the next year.
Promise kept for 24 straight years.
This one is my favorite. The cheapest one.
Far from home, Alex is home.
You are part of this place now. You are part of Welch now.
At 96,
I skied yesterday 4 hours.
Alex Rivlin is still not over skiing, nor over the hills.
The ski brings me everything.
Boyd Hooper, KARE 11 News.
Oh, amazing.
Skiing keeps you young and happy,
96.
apparently.
Wow, I'm scared of skiing.
Maybe this will help you get over it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.